What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. So since the PlayStation 5 came out, there have been a lot of criticisms around missing features or odd things that you have to do with the system when it comes to, for example, moving your save data from a PS4 edition of a game up to the PS5. Well, now it looks like Sony has done an update to their SDK to fix this issue, and we're going to go over all of that here today. Also, we are going to be talking about QuakeCon because it is now underway, and we've had actually quite a few announcements, some of which are pretty cool, like an older series coming up to current platforms through a pretty impressive remaster, and the other one being another release of Skyrim. Guys, if you enjoyed these videos, make sure that like button helps out a ton, and if you're new here to the Spawn Wave channel, make sure you subscribe down below and ring that notification bell so you can keep updated with all the uploads here on the channel. And we're going to start today with Call of Duty Vanguard. Now, Activision, of course, has this whole lawsuit going right now that we've gone over in detail, but Call of Duty Vanguard is still a big release for this year, for this holiday, with 3 big shooters coming out, that being Battlefield 2042, Halo Infinite, and Call of Duty. Now, we know when Battlefield's coming out, that being October 22nd, and we feel like Halo is kind of hanging out right now, waiting to see when Call of Duty was going to be releasing so they can kind of work their own release timing around it. Well, we do have the trailer here that was released yesterday, announcing that Call of Duty Vanguard will be releasing November 5th. So we have that coming out 2 weeks after Battlefield, which tells me that Halo is most likely going to either be coming out in early October or late November, and I'm kind of leaning towards late November, considering they still talked about doing more flights as we lead up to its release, and I assume they would want to run them through September and possibly October, just to make sure they're ready to go for a smooth launch. So probably after Forza Horizon 5, just in there before December, and the whole holiday rush starts there. So now we know 2 release dates for 3 of the big shooters. Battlefield coming out October 22nd, Call of Duty November 5th, and then most likely a couple of weeks later, Halo Infinite. Also, we did have some updates on the eShop for the Pokemon games that were in the Pokemon Presents with their file sizes, so you have an idea as to how much space you need on your Switch or on your SD card, and we can see some of the listings here posted up by Nintendo Life, where Pokemon Legends Arceus, that will be coming in right around 13 gigabytes, which makes it slightly larger than Pokemon Sword and Shield. And then we have Diamond and Pearl, the remakes, coming in at 10 gigabytes each, making them actually quite a bit larger than something like Pokemon Let's Go, coming in just over 4 gigabytes, but again, smaller than Sword and Shield, which was 12.4 gigabytes there. Makes sense that Legends Arceus would be the largest Pokemon game out of the bunch here, based on what we're seeing with that game. But there was an odd thing that was noticed here on that same eShop page. This for Diamond and Pearl, saying in order to play some content, it may be necessary to install the update data delivered on or after the game release date. And I kind of figure this is tied into online, or some of the social features in general, could be for trading, battling, or any other extra things that they want to tie in to Diamond and Pearl. I don't think you need this update to play the game like LA Noire, where you can only play like a very small portion of it, and then you got to get all this data that's downloaded because they didn't want to put it on the cartridge. No, this is going to be, I think, something a bit smaller than that. However, I guess we'll find out when it releases in November. Oh, and for those of you looking forward to NHL 22, we did get a new trailer that was released yesterday, revealing that the game is making the transition over to the Frostbite engine, which Madden has already done and FIFA has already done. It's actually been several years since those franchises moved to EA's own in-house engine, and now it's good to see NHL doing the same, because for years now it's been on the Ignite engine, which is the older engine they were using, and according to EA, which you can see some of the trailer here, this is going to have huge visual upgrades and dramatically enhance realism. So the game is coming out October 15th, that being on the Series X, S, Xbox One, PS5, and PS4. So pretty cool to see there. I guess any fans out there will be able to tell if there are any major differences when it comes to how everything controls, but it seems anyway, at least you'll have some pretty good visual improvements overall now having it moved to the Frostbite engine. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with this situation around the PS4 and the PS5 and transferring your save data from like a PS4 title that gets an upgrade to the PS5 version. And it hasn't been very seamless. We saw it with the Avengers. We certainly saw it with Final Fantasy VII Integrate, when that came out. That was a whole thing. You actually had to have 2 different versions of the game installed, and obviously the PS5 kind of limited on space as it is, so I noticed people having to do some shuffling when it came to their games, deleting some and then going back and re-downloading after they had downloaded Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PS4 just to patch the save that they had so it could then go to the PS5. It was very strange, but the idea here is up until recently, the PS5 has not been able to see local PS4 save data on the PS5. Yeah, that's why you've had to get the older version of the game on your PS5 so it could be patched in order so that I guess it could see it and then transfer it over, or you have to move it to the cloud and then pull it from there. Like I said, it's kind of been all over the place, at least until recently when we saw something like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order from EA, and that got like the whole upgrade patch to the PS5 and all this. Well, that was able to just see the PS4 save data, and some people started to notice that. Well, now Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut has the same thing where you go into the menu and you just say transfer PS4 game over the save data, and it just picks it up on the PS5 system. Well, according to Eurogamer, this is an update that Sony did to the SDK fairly recently. This, according to Richard Ledbetter at Eurogamer, saying we had a look at Sony's SDK roadmap a while back, and the concept of allowing PlayStation 5 titles to access PlayStation 4 user data was promised for a future update, which now appears to have rolled out. The first time I loaded Ghost of Tsushima, I disconnected my PS5 from the internet to rule out any potential cloud transfers, accessed the PS4 save game transfer option, and discovered that all of my PS4 saves were available. The same saves I generated when I looked at the PS5 60 FPS patch for the game back in January. In turn, those saves were transferred across from my PS4 Pro using USB storage. So this is good to see because, yeah, it was kind of a frustrating experience just to move your save data from the PS4 to the PS5, even if it was already on the PS5. Like I said, there were a lot of hoops you had to jump through, whereas you look over at the Xbox, had smart delivery, saves, seem to just move all over the place with no problem on the Xbox, whether you're playing through xCloud on a completely different system, or you have a couple of Xboxes, you're playing on the one, in your living room, and then you go downstairs, you're playing on your Series X down there, and the save just kind of follows you around, again, through their cloud and all this. But either way, it is good to see Sony doing this because we have like Death Stranding Director's Cut coming up here soon, and whatever other director's cuts they want to do. And it's also good to hear that third parties, as we're seeing EA do that with Star Wars, is able to tap into this. And it's just an update, apparently, to the SDK. So it took a little while. Like I said, it was kind of rocky there to start with, but it's good to hear it's been worked out now as we go forward towards, like I said, more remasters and I'm sure more director's cuts. Next up, let's talk about a big announcement out of QuakeCon, and that has to do with Quake, like the original one from the PC. And this is really exciting because it popped up as a rating on the ESRB initially, and everyone looked at it and said, wait a minute, what's going on with Quake? Because at first, some I think were hoping that they were doing a full remake of the original Quake. Not quite. It looks like we got a full remaster, and they just shadow dropped it. It was just like, hey, it's available right now. And I looked, yeah, it's on Game Pass. It dropped on the Switch at $10. And I started looking down the features list for this, and there's a lot of stuff. In fact, there's even like a whole new expansion from Machine Games, and you can see some of the trailer here that was released. The remastered Quake is available now on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Windows PC, and Xbox One, and it's playable through backwards compatibility on PS5 and Xbox Series X. More on the PS5 though, because it does look like we're gonna have some features going to that version of the game here pretty soon. On PC, Steam, and Bethesda launcher, users who already own Quake will automatically receive the new version with a free download. Going over some of the additions to it with this new version includes 4K resolution support, cross-platform play. That's right, you can do like full multiplayer across all these different systems, enhanced visuals, and a brand new expansion pack, this from Wolfenstein developer Machine Games. And I did pick it up on the Switch and also downloaded it through Game Pass on the Xbox, and I was looking through the options, and yeah, they have like different lighting, models, dynamic shadows, motion blur, anti-alias, and they have a full field of view that you can turn all the way up if you want. And this is such a cool remaster to do because Quake, yeah, you can play it on any of your PC. Like it's obviously not a tough game to run, but it's not like on consoles or anything, which was frustrating because it's a series I would like to see have like a revamp and come back in some way, whether it's through a remake, that would be really cool, or maybe Quake 3 Arena. In fact, take a look at this because we did have a tweet that was sent out that does show Quake 3 Arena as part of Game Pass, but it's on Game Pass PC, along with Quake 2, so there's that, and maybe we'll get Quake 3 Arena to get kind of the same treatment as we have here with the original Quake, where it's on different platforms here, like the Xbox, the PlayStation, and the Switch, full cross-platform play, because that game was awesome back in the day, like on the Dreamcast, or if you're playing on the PC. It's such a good time. It's just a really fast, off-the-wall arcade shooter. Now, according to PlayStation Blog, they say PlayStation 5 owners will also get to experience additional features taking advantage of the console's next-generation technology, in addition to future support planned for native 4K resolution and 120Hz refresh rates, an exciting prospect for any fan of fast-paced shooters alone. The re-release of Quake will also feature DualSense wireless controller support, offering players haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, motion aiming, and game audio through the peripheral's speakers. The DualSense controller is a fantastic controller. I'm always interested to see what other games do with it, says Rubitz. I'm a big supporter of gyro aim in shooters, and the DualSense controller's motion controls are top notch. That's interesting. So we could be using the adaptive triggers, the gyro controls, which are, I believe, also available on the Switch there, and then the advanced haptic feedback along with the speaker itself. It's just really fun to see an older game like Quake get this full remaster treatment, and then also take advantage of some of the newer technology like what we have in the DualSense. But on top of all of that, it looks like a familiar face actually worked on this game. Check this tweet out here from MVG, where he says, "Finally, I can announce I am a senior developer on the Quake project. Really proud of the work and collaboration Night Dive Studio, id Software, Bethesda, and Machine Games has done to make this happen. Go buy Quake." So big congratulations to MVG, senior developer on the Quake project. And I completely agree. Go buy Quake. It's a great value at $10. No matter what platform you pick it up on, the full multiplayer with cross-play support, co-op, all this. Definitely check it out if you've never played Quake. What a great way to get started here with all the enhancements. So good stuff. Like I said, $10. Make sure you check it out. Next up, let's talk about a random demo that just dropped on the Nintendo Switch eShop last night. That being for Warioware Get It Together. And this is a good game to put a demo out for, because I feel like there are a lot of people who just have never played one of these games in the series, and they don't really know what they were looking at with the trailer itself, which, I mean, you can see some of the trailer here, and yeah, it's certainly zany and all over the place. Now, this game comes out September 10th at the price of $49.99, and I do recommend checking out the demo. I am certainly going to do that because these games, while they do share similar qualities as being these very quick, fast-paced minigame type things, right? It does appear this one's going to be a bit different in terms of some of the gameplay elements and even having multiplayer as part of it on the same screen, and you throw in the Joy-Cons being used. I'm sure there's some pretty cool things they could do there. I just wanted to give you a heads up that, yeah, just randomly last night, out of nowhere, no announcement at the time, maybe there is one now, just a WarioWare demo going up on the eShop, so make sure you check it out. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about the other announcement from QuakeCon, because we have another release, and I'm not even kidding, of Skyrim. Now, it makes sense on November 11th because that is a 10-year anniversary for Skyrim. It's really been 10 years since that game came out, which is wild to think about, but I was scrolling through Twitter, I saw this tweet here, and I just immediately was like, of course this is happening. Todd Howard told us this was gonna happen. He said, hey, if you guys keep buying it, we're gonna keep releasing it. Well, here we are. We can see Nebelian tweeting out Skyrim Anniversary Edition announced, launching November 11th. You can upgrade the Special Edition to the Anniversary Edition. Free next-gen upgrade coming soon. Fishing gets added to Skyrim as well. That's right, you can apparently fish in this version of Skyrim. Now, we do have some extra details here from The Verge, who says this version includes everything in the Special Edition, the 3 free pieces of Creation Club content, and over 500 pieces of unique content from Creation Club. That includes quests, weapons, and more. If you already own the Special Edition or play the game on Xbox Game Pass, Bethesda will let you purchase an upgrade to the Anniversary Edition, but hasn't detailed the price. They have the nice little card here that shows available 11/11/21 on PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, S, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. So I guess we'll wait for more information around the pricing for the upgrade to this Anniversary Edition. I guess the next-gen patch is going to be something that they include here for free, which, I mean, sure, they can take advantage of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. I mean, it's basically GTA 5 for Bethesda. It's going from the 360 to the Xbox One to the Xbox Series X, spanning 3 different generations. I mean, why not? Skyrim, it keeps selling, just like GTA 5. I told you guys this before. Do we need the next Elder Scrolls? Because Skyrim keeps selling anyway. They keep releasing it, and they've told us point blank, hey, if you guys keep buying it, we'll keep releasing it. So looking forward to Skyrim on the PlayStation 6 and I guess whatever Microsoft decides to call their next Xbox system. And before we go to the comment today, we're taking a little poll that I posted up yesterday where I asked, how many times have you bought Skyrim? That's right. I gotta know. Just once, 25%, twice, 18%, 3 times or more, 15%, and oh no, 42% said I've never bought Skyrim. That's it. We're never getting Elder Scrolls 6. There are too many people who have not bought Skyrim, and Bethesda, they know this. They're calling everyone's bluff who's like, no, I just want Elder Scrolls 6. And they're like, okay, here's Skyrim, but with fishing. And everyone's just gonna buy it. Or apparently, a lot of people who have not bought it yet may look at it and say, okay, yeah, I guess I'll pick it up now. And I don't know, maybe years from now that 42% number will go down, or new gamers keep coming into the space and they're like, what's Skyrim? I heard about this retro game and it was on that old 360 system, right? Well, there you go. Bethesda gets some new customers there. I've just come to terms. I'm never getting Mario Kart 9, I'm never getting Elder Scrolls 6, I'm never getting GTA 6. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day as you're seeing here. This is from Autumn saying, we ought to moderate our expectations of Arceus. Game Freak is most likely dipping their toes in the water of an alternative Pokemon model instead of a full-on dive. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a much shorter or simplistic experience overall. I mean, this is certainly out of Game Freak's comfort zone, the idea of doing this big open world style Pokemon game that does break a lot of the traditions they've set up for decades now, but I do like that. And I know there are people who say, well, it should look better because Pokemon makes a lot of money, and yeah, I mean, I also agree with that too. I mean, the amount of money that Pokemon brings in, you feel like they would pour it more into the development, and I'm sure they spend quite a bit of time creating these games overall when it comes to the amount of people who come together to make this happen, but it's still the Pokemon company. They're on a tight schedule because they try to make the merchandise, the cards, the show, and everything else kind of come out around the same time to maximize profit, and unfortunately that means that something like Pokemon Legends Arceus can't be in development for as long as like Breath of the Wild or Breath of the Wild 2. And ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit that like button, really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about here today. Where's the whole thing around save transfer for the PS4 to the PS5 games being pretty much sorted out now? Are you happy to hear about that? And then what about Quake just randomly popping up on all the different platforms with some pretty awesome enhancements and new content? And Skyrim, it's getting another release. Are you surprised? Thanks guys for watching. Have a great weekend. I'll see you back here Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time for Newswave.